Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Mi Gente on Air. I am Larry Rodarte, and I'm here on the live stream with you. I hope some of you come into the room as we talk about a lot of different things that are happening in our Hispanic community here in Saginaw. We have a vibrant Hispanic community, and it's really something to see how the cultural pride has just increased throughout the years where we're having all kinds of events that are propagating our culture in a big way. And that's what this show is about, is to push the idea that Latinos, Mexicanos, Hispanics, we are contributing to the Great Lakes Bay region. And we're talking here about our culture, our concerns, and our contributions. So I want to invite you all into the room here tonight as we talk about from the Tamale Taste Off that's coming up. That's going to be our main topic. We have a new queen at the Unión Cívica Mexicana. There's a quinceañera fashion show that's going to be happening in about 2 weeks. And we also have Christmas with Angels, of course, going on, where we really still need sponsorships in order to fulfill what we do every year with the children for bringing them the gift of Christmas. And we got the novena coming up. The Damas de Guadalupe are preparing for almost the 100th novena from St. Joseph Catholic Church. It's not quite there at 100, but I'm thinking it's pretty close. So if there is anybody who knows different, please let me know. But we're going to go into the show right now, and we're going to celebrate our Hispanic culture in the Great Lakes Bay region. So join me and stay with me here on Mi Gente on Air.
Welcome to Mi Gente on Air on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Now, here is your host, Larry Rodarte.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Mi Gente on Air. We got Gary Hobbs there in the background, and we celebrate Tejano music all the time because that's what our community is here in the region. There are all kinds of different Latino music genres, but one of the most popular here in the Saginaw Great Lakes Bay region is Tejano, and that's who you were hearing. There is so much happening in our community, and first of all, I just want to wish everybody a wonderful December. We're going into the big holiday month of December, and it is cold. The weather changed this last week in the end of November, and it is cold. And we had an issue over at the Unión Cívica where our heater went out just before the Queen's dance, and I wanted to open up with that and talk about that because boy, when the chips fall, and of all times, right when we're going to have our big Queen's dance. But we got through it, and I'll tell you how in just a moment. But I'm going to talk also about the upcoming Tamale Taste Off, because we all know that it's now tamale season, and there's so many families and so many people who are getting ready for making tamales, and that's always a big chore for anybody, but it's a lot of fun. It brings families together, and it brings community together. And so we're going to talk about the annual Tamale Taste Off, the 13th annual that is coming up December 17th. And then we're also going to talk of the Unión Cívica Mexicana. Gabrielle Diaz, she is a MSU student, and she was crowned queen Saturday, November 25th at the Unión Cívica at the Queen's Dance. And then upcoming in December as well, December 16th, is a quinceañera fashion show. We're going to talk about that as well with Viper Apparel. There's just so many events that are happening. I can't talk about each and every one of them, but I'm going to try my best to talk about those that I know of. And if you have a comment or concern and you're in the chat room here tonight, go ahead and let me know what's going on your end. But we also got Christmas with Angels going on. We talked about that about 2 weeks ago on the show with Elvis Mackel. And we have to continue to fundraise for that great event that's going to be happening December 16th at the Dow Event Center in the Red Room. So there's a lot going on there, right? But we also have the novena, Our Lady of Guadalupe, and the Damas de Guadalupe are putting that on. And I think they're reaching for almost 100 years from when the very first Novena started at St. Joseph Catholic Church on 6th Street. So we're going to talk about that as well. So, yeah, as you can see, there's a lot going on. I'm going to take a sip of coffee here while I kind of catch my breath. And we're going to talk about all those things. But I really want to include everybody in the room to throw out a question or a concern or a comment, just like Mr. Toyo Rosas here. He's saying, who was last year's winner for the Tamale Taste Off? Does anybody know? If anybody knows who the winner was for the 12th annual Tamale Taste Off, please let me know. I've seemed to have forgotten. But we'll talk about that too when we get into the Tamale Taste Off. So join me here on Mi Gente on Air. I'm going to take a sip of coffee, okay? So I'm happy to be here at the Alpha Media Studios, WSGW. I am your host, Larry Rodarte, and it's been a great time as we just finished coming off of the Dia de los Muertos celebration, which was huge in our community. It become such a big annual event, and we just had the Queen's Dance at the Unión Cívica Mexicana. So I want to tell you a little bit about that. We prepare and we go into the Queen's Dance. It's always a big annual event for us where we crown a new queen. And this Saturday, the Civica All Stars were there preparing, and our heater went out in the building. Now, the heater that we do have is an older model from probably almost 30 years ago, 1998 to be exact. But it was a Saturday, and we called the actual company that comes out and services the heater, and they weren't able to get a part until Monday. So we had to really scramble as members to come together and figure out, okay, how are we going to heat this building when we've got all these people coming to attend the Queen's Dance? And we were in the midst of cooking, and we had multiple pots on the stove, and it was pretty hot and warm in the kitchen. And so somebody came up with the brilliant idea of getting one of our big fans and shooting that hot air in from the kitchen into the actual hall. While the band was actually setting up, the band was already in the hall as well, and they arrived, and it was pretty cold. And then I ran out and got a space heater, a big one of those big space heaters that runs by propane, and we were actually able to get the hall up to 70 degrees before the people actually walked into the hall. So what a feat that was. You know, we come together, we lean on each other as members, and that's one of the beautiful things about when we face obstacles at the Union Civica, that we come together as Civica All Stars to make events happen. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, do we have to cancel this event when we have young girls who they've bought dresses and they're wearing their crowns and they're going to be presented to the community, and we have people planning on attending with the great band Grupo Deseo that was playing that evening. And I'm so glad we didn't, because considering how cold it actually was, I know it was in the I think the higher 20s, maybe 28 degrees that going into this, I thought, how are we going to keep this hall warm? But we knew that once we got people there, that somehow the body heat and the dancing, that they were going to be putting on their best shoes and dancing to Grupo Deseo, that would actually help with the heating as well. And it did. And so we presented our queen. Now, first of all, I want to give congratulations and a big thank you to Jayla Flores, our queen from 2022 to 2023. Jayla Flores did a wonderful job as queen, and her first runner-up was Gabriela Olivares, who also did a wonderful job. And these two girls, they participated in just about every signature event from the Union Civica throughout the year, presenting themselves and representing the face of the Union Civica Mexicana. And they both got scholarships that evening for their years-long work in helping the community. And I know that Jayla Flores, she received a scholarship of about $1,200, and Gabby received a scholarship of about $730. So they were more than what they initially were told they were going to get, because they did such a wonderful job, especially raising money to help, so that we were able to give them that scholarship. So congratulations to Gabby Olivares, as well as Jayla Flores. And then we crowned the new queen. And let me tell you a little bit about our new queen at the Union Civica Mexicana because she is an outstanding individual. And her name is Gabrielle Diaz. I call her Gabby. And her most recent volunteer experience was last week. And that was, of course, at the Queen's Dance. We already put her to work, believe it or not. And she was raising money in a raffle for her scholarship that will be given next year. Well, Gabrielle. I'm getting her confused with last year's Gabriela Olivares, but Gabrielle Diaz is 20 years old. Her parents are Victor Diaz and Sandra Cortez Diaz. Her father is a veteran and retired postmaster, and her mother is employed at the Saginaw Township Public Library. She graduated from Heritage High School in 2021, and she is currently enrolled at Michigan State University with a major in human biology and a Chicano and Latino studies minor. At MSU, she has been involved in Charles Drew Science Scholars, the Honors College, and an Indigenous student organization in the North Neighborhood Hall government. Now, I asked Gabby to be on the show tonight here on Mi Gente on Air, but she was busy with her sorority and couldn't make it. So I'm here alone. But we will have her on the show in the future. Her most significant accomplishments would be graduating high school with honors and being placed on the dean's list during her first year of college. Her most recent volunteer experience was helping at East Lansing's church and the ELPD package donation baskets for local shelters. This girl's got it going on, right? In the upcoming week, she plans to go on a volunteer trip through MSU to advocate for immigration and refugee rights. In the future, Gabby plans to graduate from MSU with a bachelor's in science degree. And she plans to maintain her GPA and be involved in her sorority and MSU community. Matt Luster, my programmer here, I want him to show some of the pictures of Gabby because she and the other girls, they look really beautiful that night at the Union Civica at the Queen's Dance. And that is Gabby there, Gabby Diaz. Her long-term goals include a gap year after graduation where she plans to travel and offer her time to her hometown community by volunteering. After this year, she plans to apply for medical school with the ultimate goal of becoming an MD doctor. She is still deciding on her specialization, but considering being a general practitioner or an OBGYN. She hopes to one day open up her own practice within a lower income minority based community. So that is what we have. Communities like those are often unheard and overlooked within the healthcare system. And Gabby wants to advocate and highlight their concerns and change the healthcare system so everyone receives the healthcare they deserve. Big dreams for Gabrielle Diaz, the current Union Civica Mexicana queen. So congratulations to Gabrielle Diaz and her family. Her mother and father must be so proud. And I know that she has a long list of family as well that are proud because many were there at the dance to give her support. So thank you so much to the Cortez Diaz family of Saginaw and giving us this wonderful young girl to be the queen of La Unión Cívica Mexicana. The tamale taste off because Toyo Rosas from T&T Authentic Mexican Restaurant won the contest last year. I seem to have forgotten, but he actually won the taste off, both the celebrity judge with the celebrity judges as well as the people choice. So he actually took home both of the trophies, which was pretty amazing because last year we had about 13 tamale vendors, those who actually made the tamales, provided samples to those who came, and we had about 800 to 1,000 people that came to New Valley Central High School's gymnasium on a very cold day in December as well. I hope it's warmer this year. And Toil and TNT has been with us for a long time in regards to participating as a vendor of the tamale taste off, and his tamales are very popular because I know that he's currently selling them out of his restaurant, which this is the time, the season. Matt, what do you think about tamales yourself?
I like them.
You like them? Well, the thing is that they've become so popular. It seems that now I would honestly say that it's it, it was really truly a cultural Mexican staple for our community, not really in the greater community. But I think now that they have become so popular, just like the food trucks, the Mexican food trucks, Mexican food in general, I think that there is really a love for tamales across the board. And I know that when we have this is, believe it or not, this is the 13th time we're having the taste off. We have had all walks come in to that gymnasium. And it's funny because I can't imagine that somebody would drive all the way from the Flint area, from West Branch, from Detroit, because they hear about the tamale taste stuff. But we invite everybody. So if you're out there in the listening audience of Mi Gente on Air on WSGW, please consider coming to the Tamale Taste Off. It's the 13th annual, and it's at Nouvelle Catholic Central High School in their gymnasium. And it starts at 10 a.m. and it lasts until 3 p.m. Usually by 3 p.m. many more tamales to sell. And that's what happens. You pay a fee. It's going to be $10. And that fee, what happens is you get to go around and taste each of the vendors' tamales that are participating. So like last year, there was quite a bit. There was 13. And so you got to sample 13. It's not a full tamale, but it's, a quarter of the actual tamale, because you don't want to sit there and eat 13 tamales in one sitting. Um, and then you taste them, and then you judge as the people's choice. You are able to judge on what you feel is the best tasting tamale. And then we have the celebratory judges who come in as well. Last year we had Colette Boyd from WNEM TV5. We had Sheriff Fettersfield in the past come in. And they judge the tamales as well. They taste them. They have no idea whose tamales they're tasting, though. And it's by number, and then they tell us which is their favorite. And that's the celebratory judging that is done, and we keep it very fair. And so Angela Blanco, who's the president of the Civica, she says TNT Restaurant Toyo Rosas in honor of his beloved mother, Irene Rosas. What a beautiful day. Looking forward for all of you to come back. Congratulations again to TNT, our winner last year. So that's what's happening in the community December 17th. So it's the Sunday before Christmas. So if you're looking to get and have tamales on your table for Christmas, this is a good place to go and buy them, because there's going to be a number of different tamale vendors there. And, some of you are already in the process of making your own tamales, and that's wonderful too, because there's nothing, I think, that I have experienced in the Christmas time when, there's nothing like it when you have your family come together and make tamales. And I know that for years I helped my mother make them. She's the one that really taught me, along with my Aunt Della, Chintaka, her tia, my tia. And after we lost mom, we really came together, my father and my sisters and my aunts and my cousins, and we all came together and made some tamales in honor of her, because it made us feel closer to her. That year I remember, and it's just a beautiful tradition. And the tradition of having tamales under the Christmas tree is also something that I remember from way back. They're just, it's part of our culture and tradition. It's just grown so much in the community that there is such a demand that we can have a tamale taste off that exceeds, like I said, 800 to 1,000 people every time we have it. We started out at the Union Civica Mexicana way back. I think it was in 2009, and I think we had maybe 100 people that first outing. Then it grew to 300 people, and then we grew out of the building, and now we're at the big gymnasium at Nouvelle Catholic Central High School, because that's the only place that really will fit us and all the people that attend. And I want to really give a big thank you out to the principal over at Nouvelle for allowing us to have this. Daniel, I forgot his last name at the moment, but Mr. Daniel over there, He's an administrator at New Val Catholic Central High School. And we want to thank our bishop as well, because at a time in 2019 when we didn't have a facility because we grew out of the actual elementary school, I went to the bishop and I asked him, I says, hey, this is a big tradition that's happening in our community, and we don't have a facility that can hold us. And he made some phone calls and he made it happen for us. So we're really appreciative of our current bishop, Bishop Rupp, as well as the principal over at New Val Catholic Central High School. So that's what's happening. We're still looking for vendors, I know, for the tamale taste off. I know TNT is coming back because they want to reclaim first place, they say, as well as Cruz Kitchen over there on Martha Street. They're going to be participating, and they have won the contest a few years back. They want to reclaim it as well. And we have the whole enchilada out of Bay City. They're going to be there. They just recently joined. And then we have somebody who they make tamales and they sell them in Midland, or the chef is from Midland. Her name is Selma Herrera, and they participated last year, came in second place. So we got some heavy hitters out there. And I hope that we have a few more, because we want to make it worth it for everybody who's in attendance. Now we do have actually vendors as well, bazaar vendors who will be in the house. There's going to be about 10 of those, but this is a tamale taste off, so we need a few more tamale taste off vendors who are going to participate actually. And we need to get ready for that, because what happens if you're considering to be a tamale vendor, you have to make about 25 dozen just for tasting, because you're going to break those down into those 3/4 that you can give, and that gives you about 900 samples. And then you can make as many other dozen that you want to sell that day. And I heard the going price is this year $15 a dozen. So that's up to you. If you want to make 100 dozen, then you can sell 75 dozen, and that's quite a bit. But we don't charge the vendors to actually be in the taste off, because we know that there is a number of dollars that are spent to actually put together a tamale. Everything with inflation has gone up. We know that, there's the masa, there's the leaves that you got to buy, the corn husk leaves, and the pork meat, and the masa, the lard, just everything that goes into making a tamale, the chiles, chile ancho, chile guajillo, there's different ones. And so, we know that there's a lot of cost in actually putting them together. And I want to really thank those who have participated in the past, because, they're putting forth, at least 20 to 25 dozen tamales for the people to taste. And it gives them some really great exposure, some really great brand naming afterwards and during the actual festival, the taste off, because people are becoming more and more familiar with the tamales. So if you're in the business of selling tamales, the 13th annual tamale taste off is where you want to be. And, we're really happy to present that from the Unión Cívica Mexicana. And there's the poster on the show here. It's the tamale taste off, 10 a.m., 3 p.m., Sunday, December 17th, 2023. And we have to mention that our event sponsor is Jolt Credit Union. They have been with us for a number of different years, and we are so thankful for Mrs. Bridget Staffolino. And I always like to include Bridget Luby Staffolino, her full name. And she's just been wonderful to the Unión Cívica Mexicana, and she loves her Civica members. And they have been with us, like I said, for a number of years, and they sponsor this huge event that really showcases our culture and talent of our culinary expertise that make tamales in the area. So thank you to Jolt Credit Union and Bridget Staffolino, and all those vendors who have participated in the past. We've had a number of them, and I think those who are participating, they know it's a lot of work going into it, but the satisfaction of being able to sell your tamales and giving that pleasure to those at Christmas time, is just a wonderful thing for any tamale maker. And I'm going to be making tamales as well with the Unión Cívica Mexicana. Now, we never participate in the actual contest because we're the hosts, but our members, they work so diligently and so hard. They're going to be making about 100 dozen in the next coming 2 weeks to be able to present some for sale, as well as to have some there at the taste off. And it's so important because we've got a bad heater over there at the Union Civica, right? We got to raise some money, so please help us and sponsor, as well as plan on attending. Save that date, December 17th, for the 13th annual Tamale Taste Off over at New Val Catholic Central High School in the big gymnasium. And we can't wait to see everybody, because I know that there's a lot of excitement when they come and they're thinking of attending the Tamale Taste Off. Can you imagine, Matt, thinking about going to a Tamale Taste Off? Doesn't that just excite you?
I mean, hey, sign me up.
I'd
love to go try some tamales.
All right, there you go. I'm going to have you sign up to help make them. No. But anyways, we'll be right back when we come back from a commercial break here on Mi Gente On Air. So there you go. We're back in the live stream here on Facebook, and we got a number of people in the room, and we would love to see some more comments or questions that you may have in regards to these events that we have going on in the community, whether it's the Tamale Taste Off or the Viper Apparel Quinceañera, their first Quinceañera fashion show that's coming up, as well as Christmas with Angels. There's just a lot happening. And we go through life, and month after month goes by, and life just throws things at us all the time. And, it's these cultural events, I think, that kind of set our minds at ease and, let us know that, celebrating cultural families and our cultural events is a beautiful thing, and can help us get through the tough times. And so that's why, I wanted to present a lot of these different events that are happening in the community today here on Mi Gente On Air. So come on into the room. I want to see some of the Civica members, as well as the community, so that we can talk about these events as well. When if you ask a question or if you have a concern. So we're going to go back into the show. I'm going to take a little breather here because I'm talking a mile a minute, right? I have no guest today, so that's what we're doing. But we'll be back in about 2-3 minutes, okay? We'll be here at the Alpha Media Studios here at WSGW.
You're listening to Mi Gente On Air on WSGW.
Welcome back, mi gente. Thank you for being with me here tonight, mi gente, my people. That's what it means. And so long ago, I started Mi Gente magazine, and here we are now celebrating 3 years at Mi Gente On Air, this radio program, as a talk show host. And it's really surprising to me that we have been able to last this long, because it wasn't something that I planned, but it's here, and it's given us a voice at the table. And there's a lot of things going on that I think we are able to present to the community and share, so that people understand that there is positivity in diversity. And when you have diversity, your community is stronger. And it's not just one flavor or flava, if you would say, but there's multiple flavors in our community, and it just makes us better people. So we're going to talk now, after we've talked already about the Queen's Contest pageant and the new Queen at the Civica, as well as the Tamale Taste Off. We're going to talk about Viper Apparel, that beautiful showcase store over there in Bridgeport that provides so many dresses for prom, for homecoming, for weddings, I think. And there's a young lady over there named Liliana Orozco, and she is the quinceañera coordinator over there. And she is being pretty progressive and having the idea of having Mid Michigan's first quinceanera fashion show, and that is going to take place Saturday, December 6th. Showtime is from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. and the doors open at 11:30 a.m. They're going to have 75 styles, 5 plus designers, women's wear and menswear, and it is hosted by our sister location, she says, which is the Bridal by Viper that is out in Birch Run. Tickets are $25 per person, and tickets are available at the door and pre-sale. So if you're looking to have your daughter, your niece, have a quinceañera in 2024, you might want to attend this event December 6th. That's next week, next Saturday, where they're going to have a presentation of quinceañera dresses. Have you ever heard of that before, Matthew?
Well, I mean, I've had a few friends that have like worn quinceañera dresses to their quinceañera, but I mean, for an actual like fashion show, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, that's a first, I think, and that's wonderful that intuitive ideas that are coming from this young lady, and she's sharp. She is a go-getter. She's also a journalist. I know she's going to college as well, and she has her job over at the Viper Apparel. So they have given her this idea. Well, maybe it was her idea, but they've given her the go-ahead to go and have this first quinceañera fashion show. And I just want to mention that we had them on the show, her with her boss, Liliana Orozco, with her boss, Dalia Kazmika. And they gave a really nice show because they brought along dresses that, we put on the screen so that people could see them as well. But they had planned, out of that show, they had planned to come and have a float in the 44th annual Cinco de Mayo parade. And that was really awesome because they were towards the end, I remember, and all you saw was these big hoop dresses coming down Washington Avenue in Saginaw. I'd never seen that before. And these young ladies were in these big, beautiful dresses of multicolored dresses. And it really added to the parade. And what you see so much now, I remember quinceañera dresses were primarily white dresses, but now these days they're different colors. They have really stepped it up in terms of colors. And, they have dresses as well for the damas, the young girls that are standing up in the quinceañera for the quinceañera girl. And they have also apparently design wear for menswear as well at this fashion show. So if anybody can make it, I think it would be a great time to spend if you're looking to have a quinceañera for your daughter, niece, granddaughter, whoever it may be in the future in 2024. So that's pretty awesome that they're doing that in our community. Saginaw got it going on. It's really nice to see that a young girl like Liliana Orozco, she's what, 20 years old, and she's coming up with this idea of having a first quinceañera fashion show over at Viper Apparel. So Dalia Kazmika must really like her. Right, Dalia? I want to give attention here to my aunt. She is 92 years old, and she's here in the room, and she's trying to say hello. She's spelling it H-E, and then the next one, H-E-L-L-O. I'm just kidding, Aunt Della. Thank you for being with us here tonight in the show, in the chat room on Mi Gente on Air. Angela Blanco also wants to mention that they also have vendors at the show, meaning the quinceañera show, for decorating, catering, makeup, and such. So we're going to have to find out that information. If Liliana's on the show tonight, or Dalia, please let us know, because you've got somebody who's interested in attending and seeing if you have decorating, catering, makeup vendors at the show as well. So next, we're going to talk a little bit about Christmas with Angels, because that's a big event that's coming up December 16th. That's Saturday, just before the Tamale Taste-Off. And that's where they're going to be gifting presents and gifts to over 30 families with children in need to give the gift of Christmas. And this is the 7th year that Christmas with Angels is in existence. Elvis Mackel's at the helm, and he has a number of different angels. I'm one of them included. that we raise this funds through our community, whether it's through companies or individuals, so that we can give the gift of Christmas, like I said, to 30 families. And this year, we're looking to give to 1,000 kids. It will be 1,000 kids that we have given these presents to in the last 7 years, and that's quite an incredible feat. What do you think, Matt?
I think that's amazing. I think that what you're doing with that, I think that's amazing what you guys are doing. And there's a lot of like there's a lot of kids that don't have as much as everybody else, and sometimes kids go without Christmas. And the fact that you guys are able to give some kids Christmas is, I think that's amazing.
Thank you. And yeah, it really is when you think about it, because as we went into this whole idea of Christmas with Angels, Elvis and some of the leaders, they saw that there was an actual need for some kids that just didn't have that is abundance of a Christmas as say some other kids. And and I know that when you go back to school, everybody's talking about, okay, what'd you get? What'd you get? And you're listing off, I got this, I got that. I mean, that's just kids. That's just how they are. And so, can you imagine if a kid isn't as fortunate as some, that they would have to make up gifts in their minds and present that? Well, we want to make sure that that's not happening. And so we know there's a need. And this year, in our 7th year, we have over 150 applications that have been filled out by needy families. Now, we can't help them all, but we're going to go through those next week and really try to bring that number down in terms of who we actually help, because that's really a chore. It's really a chore to make that decision as a group of angels, that we come together and we talk about it and we see where there really is a need. And so I give my hats off to all the other angels that are out there that have participated in this, because it's not easy. It's not an easy endeavor to do that. It's not an easy endeavor to ask for money from the community and from businesses. And we've been able to do this. And last year we probably raised the highest amount of money that we did in the 6 years, and that was $30,000. And we went beyond the 30 families that we were going to help, and I think we ended up helping close to 50. So it's really a big endeavor, like I said, but it's a worthy one that really helps our community. And although this is primarily led up by Hispanic individuals, leaders in the community, volunteers, we help everybody. It's not just for Hispanic kids, it's for everybody. And we just want to help whoever is in need that we can help, um, and make it legit. We want to make sure that these are families that are really needy, and not somebody that's a little bit more well off to do and doesn't really need that extra help. So that's really is the chore of it, as I said. And God blesses us each year, because we're able to really make sure um, that we're helping those 30 families. And so I'm on here again. We had Elvis on the show a couple weeks back, but I'm on here again. If you find it in your heart to be able to give to Christmas with Angels this year, we'd really appreciate it. I almost feel like it's back in the day when the telethons, with the Jerry Lewis muscular dystrophy telethons, and we have done that, where we've had telethons at Gilly's Bistro in Bay City, TNT Authentic Mexican Restaurant, where we come together as a group and we try to make some phone calls to individuals who we think will give money to Christmas with Angels, and it's been very, very successful. So thank you to everybody for that. Go ahead, Matt.
I personally think that every kid, no matter race, gender, whatever, I think every morning on December 25th, they should be able to open up Christmas under the Christmas tree. I think every kid should be able to wake up and know that, hey, Santa brought me Christmas presents. I wonder what he got me this year.
Yeah.
And go race to the tree and rip open all your presents and see what you got. I think every kid deserves that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the American way, right? In the world, internationally, kids are celebrating Christmas as well. We've got Dolores Cameron Vasquez who's on here, and she's asking, are they still accepting applications? I think they are up until November 30th, which is 2 days from now. But like I said, we've already got over 150 applicants. But if you know of somebody who is still in need, give it a shout, give it a try. They may qualify for this year's Christmas with Angels. And I do want to go back to talking about the Quinceañera fashion show, because we have Dalia Kazmika as well as Liliana, and they're both saying the show is actually December 16th. Not December 6th, as I said, it's December 16th, Saturday, with entertainment, live DJ, photo booths, 360 video stands, Mexican dish samples, and treats samples. Oh, maybe some pan dulce, right? This is all happening at the Bridal at Viper in the Birch Run outlet from 12 to 7. We are very excited. And this is the reason why we needed Liliana on the show to correct my misinformation, right? But yeah, thank you for coming on and correcting that, because it is December 16th, Saturday. And we want to make sure that you get that right information. Give us a call, give them a call. And I don't know their phone number at Viper Apparel, but it's going to be at the Birch Run store of Viper Apparel. And I don't know, Matt, can you read that? The actual number on there? That's too small for me in my eyes. No, it's 989-624-1100. So if you want to give them a call about the Quinceañera fashion show coming up December 16th, that is the number. And so again, we were talking about Christmas with Angels. There's so much happening in the community, and this is what the season is about. This is what our community has been blessed with in Saginaw, because like I say from time to time, Saginaw has got it going on. And I say that, and I'm not trying to act like we're better than any other community or whatever, because I know Detroit has some wonderful Southwest community, has some wonderful events. They just came off of a holy moly contest where they had tamales as well, but they were celebrating and having a competition with mole, the great sauce that we all love. And I'm sure Lansing has some things going on as well. But Saginaw is blessed to have a tamale taste off. They're blessed to have Christmas with Angels. They're blessed to have a quinceañera fashion show, all in the month of December. And they're also still blessed to have a queen representing their oldest historic civic organization in the community. So on top of that, starting, I believe, on December the 4th, the Damas de Guadalupe come together and they celebrate 9-day novena at St. Joseph Catholic Church. A 9-day novena, I should say, novena. But this has been going on for almost 100 years in the Saginaw community. The old church of 6th Street is when they started, and the Damas came together in 1928. I believe that was the first group of women that were immigrants from Mexico. And I remember having an interview with Pachita Guevara, and she told me how they came together and how they petitioned the priest to say, we need some representation here of our community, because in those days they were actually having the Mexican people stand in the back of the church. They couldn't even sit down in the pews. They had to stand in the back of the church. And as the population increased in the First Ward area at St. Joe's, because so many of the men were coming to work in the fields, and then they found the employment at the Gray Iron General Motors plant, a church in the area, which would happen to be St. Joe's, had to provide the services for them. And so they wanted to be incorporated as members of the church, and they petitioned to have a novena during the Christmas season, when that, it was a huge tradition in Mexico. And so these women came together and they formed the group, the club, if you will, Damas de Guadalupe. Now, what does Damas mean? It means women, the women of Our Lady of the Virgin Mary. And so that is another cultural institution that we have here in our community. And so many of the Mexican communities throughout the United States also have that. And it's really nice to see that traditionally the third, fourth generation descendants of these pioneering women actually have continued on with this tradition. Gosh, I remember being a child in the old church in 6th Street, and hearing the music, the beautiful rondalla of St. Joe's come in with their guitars and giving homage to Our Lady of Guadalupe. It really touched the hearts of so many. And as a child, you hear that and you witness this in the church, and you grow up and you also love Our Lady of Guadalupe. She is symbolic. She is the patroness saint of the Americas, which is incorporative of Mexico and the United States and Canada. And it's a wonderful tradition. And I've heard stories from way back from, my great grandmother Cecilia when she was a dama. She was one of the original damas de Guadalupe that formed that group back in, like I said, 1928. So, Matthew, do you have any kind of that in your family traditions that where you celebrate during the Christmas holidays?
Well, usually we always just went over to my great aunt's house or my grandma's house for Christmas. Other than that, I mean, setting up the Christmas tree, like the every year on Christmas we'd go over to my great aunt's house or my grandma's. Other than that, I wouldn't really say we had any traditions like that.
Well, you had real Christmas trees, right? So that you
No,
smelled the pine?
no, it's just the fake ones.
No, come
I
on.
wish though, but no, our allergies are too bad for that.
Yeah, well, I can remember and I'm sure there's a generation of individual listeners out there that remember the pine tree smell of the Christmas. And in the old days, they used to hang tinsel, that long string tinsel. I don't see that happening too much on trees nowadays. There's more modern decorations, but that old tinsel, there was something about it that just shimmered. Every Christmas morning as a little kid, you'd wake up and you'd see all that beautiful tree and all those beautiful gifts that your parents purchased. Well, I was very fortunate that my parents did purchase us gifts, of course. But as we talk about Christmas with Angels, we know that not every family is able to do that. And so that's why we have Christmas with Angels. But the Damas de Guadalupe, they actually continue this tradition. There's something about witnessing how they march in with Guadalupana music that's happening as they're coming in, and the priest follows. And it's a big to do for Our Lady of Guadalupe, and the statue over at St. Joseph Catholic Church that was purchased down in Mexico City at the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe stands there in the new church. And that was brought to the Saginaw area in 1960, believe it or not. So, we're talking almost 70 years. That statue where it was in the beautiful grotto of the old church on 6th Street, and now it stands in the grotto of the new church that was built in 2003. And it's wonderful to see how some of the ladies in the church decorated each year. I know my cousin Yvonne Hernandez, she put big, beautiful, colorful flowers around her one year, and it was just amazing. And then you have the traditional roses that are giving from individuals' families and individuals of the church, because that's what St. Juan Diego did way back in Mexico on Tepeyac, where Our Lady of Guadalupe miraculously gave him Castilian roses in his tilma, and that was what he presented to the bishop, and they realized that a miracle was taking place. So there's so much going on, and so much tradition during this month of December that we're heading into. And it's just it's a beautiful time of the year, and it is cold. We're supposed to have an El Nino winter, they're saying, and I got to listen more to the weather, but it's supposed to warm up, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard by this weekend.
By this weekend, yeah. I heard even Wednesday's going to be like, which is tomorrow. I think high 30s and maybe low 40s. And we just want to hope and wish that come December 25th, we've got a white Christmas. It just doesn't seem like Christmas around here sometimes if you don't have snow, right?
Yeah. My big thing about snow is like up until Christmas, let's say even New Year's, it's like, oh, it's Christmas time. I love the snow. But once comes January 1st and Christmas is over, it's like, okay, I'm ready for summer now. Why is all this snow still here? I don't want it to be 1 degrees and snowing 4 inches outside. I want it to be 80 degrees and sunny out.
Yeah. Everybody says I'm so over it come February, March, and but that's where we're Michiganders. And I've got to tell you, I remember back when I was young, in the late 60s, and there just seemed to be such snow in bigger storms that were happening. I remember the ice storm of 1976. It was amazing what we went through, and I don't recall that we had those types of snowstorms today.
Yeah, I mean, with the snowstorms, I don't know. Like last year, we had a couple pretty big ones that it snowed a good 6, 7 inches. But I mean, I haven't really, since I've been alive, I don't think it's snowed more than 10 inches in one day.
Wow. And I remember, like there'd be 15 inches, 20 inches. There was a place in Italy that I went to a few years back. It was called Capricota, and they recorded 100 inches of snow in one day.
100 inches of snow in one day? Why? How?
I don't know. It was some type of freak storm, but thank God we don't have that here, right? But I do remember those bigger storms. I remember my father jumping from the roof into the snow because there was so much snow.
That
So,
sounds fun.
that was the old days. And there are some pictures of I think from the Saginaw News in their archives where you see downtown Saginaw filled with snow, in the old cars, and you see them covered with snow too, and they're trying to clean out. And that's always a fun day, the next day trying to clean out from a snowstorm. But I'm losing my voice here because I'm talking so much. But I just want to remind everybody that the Tamale Taste Off is December 17th, Sunday. And that's over at Newville Catholic Central High School Gymnasium. Please come out, enjoy tamales. And we also have a quinceañera fashion show that's December 16th in Birch Run, presented by Viper Apparel and their sister store. And on that same day, on Saturday, Christmas with Angels will be taking place at the Dow Event Center in the Red Room. And that is also a huge Christmas event. And then the novena is taking place from typically December the 4th to December the 12th. And that is put on by the Damas de Guadalupe of St. Joseph Catholic Church. And again, we mentioned our queen, Gabrielle Diaz. She's an MSU student who wants to be a doctor someday. So this girl's on fire, I'm telling you. And she's going to represent the Union Civica very well. So I would just want to thank my producer, Mr. Matthew Lester, who's here with me in the room wearing his MSU cap, even though Michigan won the game.
I mean, hey,
congratulations.
Go green. That's all I have to say. Go green, go white.
But anyways, thank you, everybody, for being with me here tonight on this cold, frigid day at the end of November as we head into the glorious month of December. Thank you all for being with us. We'll see you next week. Hasta luego. Woo. So this was a tough show because I didn't have a guest and I had to kind of deliver the show myself, and that's okay. But as you can see, I'm out of I'm losing my voice here, and my voice gets very dry, and that's why I bring a cup of coffee or something to drink with me. But just kudos to everybody who's out there in the hustle and bustle of getting ready for Christmas. It's only less than a month away now, and kudos to those who are involved in volunteering and helping in an organization to try to bring forth an event for the community. And it's a wonderful thing to be involved and see a successful event take place, and know that you're contributing in a positive way. And that's what we have to continue to do as a community, contribute in a positive way and forget about the negativity that sometimes happens, especially this season here in December when we're celebrating the birth of Christ. And so, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, happy Tamale Taste Off, happy Novena de Guadalupe, Our Lady of Guadalupe, and happy Quinceañera Fashion Show. That's all I can say. Anything you want to add, Matt?
I mean, not really. I think I'm gonna pull that liner from the Christmas Carol. God bless us, everyone.
All right, Matthew Lester, my producer there. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week, and we're going to try to bring you some great shows into the coming year, and we got some really special guests lined up. So look forward to tune in to Mi Gente on Air. We'll see you again next week. Adios.